On the evening of August 2nd, 1972, 8-year-old Farrah Fawcett and 6-year-old Cheryl Lambert were playing outside at 9135 Cold Harbor in the Adams Hill subdivision. This was the home of Farrah Fawcett. Around 6:30 p.m. when the girls failed to appear for dinner is when the search for the girls began. By dusk, the girls were nowhere to be found, and that's when sheriff's deputies were asked to aid in the search. The next morning on August 3rd, San Antonio received a little over an inch of rain, and that hindered search efforts for a while that morning. Over 100 Lackland trainees assisted and searched a 200-acre section near the Marbach and Hunt Lane intersection. On the morning of August 4th, still no sign of the girls, the search widened and moved a little north to the Hunt Lane and Petranco area. By this time, over 300 people had come to help in the search. That evening, as darkness fell, Lieutenant Alfred Carrion of the Bexar County Sheriff's Office said that he hopes there is no foul play involved, but he is beginning to suspect the worst. On August 5th, the search area was widened even more to 15 square miles to the south and west portion of the county. The FBI became involved in the case of the missing girls. At the request of Farrah Fawcett's father, a radio announcer contacted a psychic from Chicago by the name of Irene Hughes and asked for her assistance in finding the girls. After about a 4-hour trance, Mrs. Hughes said that the girls would be found in a building with the porch falling down and with hay inside, about 5 miles from where they were reported missing. Volunteers said they found a building similar to what was described by Hughes, but the girls were nowhere to be found. On Sunday, August 6th, at approximately 10:30 a.m., 15-year-old Stephanie Roy was walking her dog in the 9000 block of Five Forks when she suddenly heard someone yelling for help. She followed the sounds to a vacant house located at 9223 Five Forks. Stephanie immediately thought of the two lost little girls, and so she went inside, but then became frightened, fearing that the kidnappers might be in the home too. So she went next door to get her neighbor, and together they went inside the home. They followed the sounds to a bedroom closet. When they opened the closet, there were the two girls, scared, eyes blinking rapidly from the bright light. Farrah and Cheryl were alive, weak, tired, and dehydrated, having spent 90 hours in a small closet. Farrah lived in a new neighborhood on Cold Harbor in Adams Hill, and there were many homes under construction, and many children would play house in some of those homes being built. On the day the girls went missing, as Farrah's mother was preparing dinner, they went off exploring the neighborhood in search of a real home to play house in. The girls walked over to the next street on Five Forks, where they came across a finished home, still not yet occupied. The front door was not locked. They went in, and it was nice and cool with the AC running. The girls explored the kitchen and each of the 4 bedrooms. When they got to the master bedroom, Farrah spotted a closet and thought it would be a great place to hide. The girls went in, and Farrah slid the door shut. It was very dark, and after a few moments, Cheryl thought they'd better get back home or they would be late for dinner. Farrah reached to open the door, but it was stuck. Both girls tried to slide the door open, but to no avail. Together, they kicked the door and cried for help. Peeking under the door, Farrah could see it was getting dark, and their cries went unanswered. They fell asleep, but once in a while would wake up and try to open the door. The second day, they thought they heard a noise and thought someone was in the house. Frightened, they stayed silent at first, then called for help, but no one came. Throughout that day, they heard cars and voices outside. That night, they sat in the dark thinking of food and how their throats were dry from yelling for help. The girls continued to cry out on the third day, but by now they had lost track of what day it was. Sunday morning, they heard the sound of a door opening and muffled footsteps. Then they heard the door close. Moments later, they heard the front door open again and a man's voice. Suddenly, the closet door slid open and sunlight washed over the girls' faces. They moved back to the corner of the closet, not knowing that they were rescued from their nightmare. The girls were taken to Wolford Hall Hospital for a couple of days, then were allowed to go home. The reason the house had not been searched days prior is because this vacant home had no sign out front, like the other vacant homes did in the neighborhood. This home had the AC running and the shades drawn, and neighbors thought the home was occupied. That's going to do it for this edition of Growing Up Marbach. Please like and subscribe so you can receive notifications of new episodes. You can also find us on Facebook. If you have any memories or episode ideas for us, Or maybe you have photographs or old film or videotape of the Marbach Military Drive area. Please email us at growingupmarbach@gmail.com. We would love to share your videos, pictures, and memories with others. I'm Christopher Palmer. See you next time.